All right, YouTube, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. It is Wednesday, March 26th. We have a 6-game NBA slate to dive into in today's video. Like we always do, I'm going to dive into each and every one of these games. I'm going to give you my prediction on the side. I'll give you my prediction on the total. We'll talk about any other plays like player props that we like within the game as well. But as always, guys, keep an eye down on the pinned comment of this video. That'll take you to all of my final plays. So I'm actually rolling with myself. If that does interest you, absolutely free down in the pinned comment. All right, YouTube, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. I tell you guys I'm a dummy all the time. They don't suck. They've just been sucking. Get them down to -3, 4 more juice than Jose Canseco in his prime. Tell me you're new without telling me you're new. So don't go jumping down my throat in the comments, right? If you want to fade me, or if you do want to ride me, this still leaves a bad taste in my mouth, right? And remember, more chins, more wins. Guys, before we do jump into today's video, I wanted to let you know that we have a new collection, the Let's Ride collection, now available over on the merch store. You can head over to GuyBostonSports.com/store or FadeMe.store, both the same shop. Go and pick up some great merch at a great price. This is legitimate quality. This is the Let's Ride Premium Crew Neck. I don't know if we've made a hoodie, sweatshirt, t-shirt, anything that feels like this yet. So go ahead and check it out, guys. Again, GuyBostonSports.com/store and FadeMe.store. Either one will get you there. In terms of last night, March 25th, kind of a dud of a night. Now, we were kind of due for one of these nights. We had been either having killer nights or, just marginal victory nights. Last night, not so much. A lot of red X's compared to the green checks. And even, looks like I missed one there. Jalen Green only hit 1-3, so an additional red X. All half-unit plays. And realistically, there's a lot of red X's because all of those are kind of either they were going to hit or they weren't. Well, that's groundbreaking, Ev. But what I mean by that is the fact that each of them was kind of it was related to the other one, right? Like Jalen Duren over 14.5 points and double-double. Magic -4.5 and -7.5. They were kind of just extended versions of each other. But we swung and missed last night, so hopefully we can bounce back tonight. The ride of the day also does not come through from Eric here. The Thunder to win both halves. They win the first half. They check that one off. They lose the second half by a few, but they do lose the second half. I thought this was a pretty interesting way of going about taking the Thunder, to be honest, because the Thunder are going to have such big numbers to cover, right? And the way that I ended up doing, because I got better odds than saying, they had to win both halves, yes. But I just parlayed the first half money line and the second half money line. Got -110 odds. So kind of like that strategy, even though it didn't work out last night. Definitely something to consider moving forward. So I guess shout out to Eric Betts. It was his second attempt here at the ride of the day. Cashed a couple days ago, and then last night, unfortunately, not. We share that womp womp. I had a bad night last night, too. If you guys don't know what the ride of the day is, it's simple. Just use that hashtag ride of the day down in the comments, or ROTD. I jump on board with one person's play each and every day. Give you a shout out in the next video, win or loss. I also tweet it out over on my Twitter/X, which is right here on your screen right now. And I post it with the final plays on the site. So follow that pinned comment link. If you win, we continue to ride with your plays for the following days until you lose. If you do lose, got to face the womp womp. You still get the shout out though, but get those hashtag ride of the days down in the comments. Guys, it is March 26th. It is Paris, my girlfriend, her birthday today. So let's get some happy birthday Parises down in the comments for good luck here. Let's jump into the slate. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Starting it off with one that I don't have too much interest in, but we got Philly taking on Washington. Philadelphia coming off of a loss against New Orleans, and Washington coming off of a loss against the Toronto Raptors. Both these teams in their last 20 games combined, well, 10 each, right, have only won 5 games. 3-7 for the Wizards, and then 2-8 for the Sixers. I don't think I have those mixed up. I think that's correct. This is a weird one. I mean, you look at the injury report, and it's like, okay, well, both teams obviously have some injuries. Chris Middleton out, Marcus Smart out, George out. For Philadelphia, Quentin Grimes is probable, but they're still without, obviously, George, Maxey, Embiid. Like, both these teams just absolutely injury-ridden. I do think that this Philadelphia team seems like they're a little bit more competitive. I know that's kind of crazy, but at least like when they're getting some of these big numbers and big spreads, they are covering it. Now, they didn't against Atlanta, but prior to that, they had covered a big one against Houston. They'd covered a decent one against Indiana, and then there's one more in there, I believe. Whereas Washington, I just don't really see the firebind. Like, Philadelphia still strikes me as the team that we should be looking at here, but overall, overall, I don't think I'm going to have much action going on this game. There are a couple angles as to why I would say Philadelphia may be the move in isolation, which they've done a decent amount of, even with all these injuries. That is where Washington is literally the worst team in the league in terms of score percentage, dead last at 30th. Philadelphia running the fourth most isolation. That includes when Maxey, George, like all those guys were playing. That's season-long numbers, but still think it is worth noting overall. I don't mind an over in this one. Do I take it myself? I don't think so, because again, this is just like a crapshoot to me in terms of what we have here. It's like two bad defenses, two bad offenses. The one thing you can say about the offenses, and I do think that this is situational kind of strategy in the NBA, is when guys are injured or when these guys are getting opportunities this year that they might not even get next year, sometimes they kind of play like balls to the wall, right? Which we've seen some of these guys, I guess you could say, on both teams do, really trying to make a name for themselves and get their, get their numbers up and whatnot. So I don't mind an over, because I think both defenses are terrible. But again, this isn't the best game, guys. We got to be completely honest about that, right? No player props in this one either. All right, next up, Indiana taking on the Lakers. This is definitely one that you can make an argument going either way, but I think I'm on the Lakers. I think I'm on the Pacers, not the Lakers, literally the exact opposite. Let me explain why, but first let's look at the injury report here. LeBron listed as probable, as is Rui Hachimura. If you are liking Lakers today, those are obviously two big pieces. Now, the Lakers are on the road. We know that they're not as good on the road as they are at home. They've covered in just 45% of their road games so far this season. They're coming off of a bad game against Orlando. We kind of called it too, right? They were, I want to say, 4-point favorites. They ended up losing the game by like 10 or 12. Indiana has just been on fire. 5 straight wins. They've won 7 of their last 8 games. They're not covering right now. So let me make that clear. Like, this is not a team that is blowing teams out, covering big numbers, anything like that. They are in these competitive, vast games, but they are pulling them out towards the end, right? Like, they're 2-8 in their last 10 against the spread, and they're 7-3 straight up. So that should say something, right? But they're underdogs here. They're at home here, in which they're 24-9 straight up this season. And there's, like I said, there's a couple spots that, and they're healthy, couple spots that I would mention. Restricted area, they're shooting the 5th most over the last 10 games, the entire league, 5th most frequent at the rim. The Lakers, not exactly the best rim defense. Now, they have been kind of surprisingly good since losing Anthony Davis, but still, this season overall, 3rd worst. They're allowing nearly a 70% field goal percentage to their opponents at the rim, right in that specific shooting zone. This is an Indiana team that should take a decent amount of catch and shoot jump shots. Lakers, 19th in terms of effective field goal percentage against, 22nd in terms of catch and shoot score percentage against as well. I just don't really see where the Lakers defense steps up here. Like, the Magic, who have been struggling offensively, scored 118 on this team, right? The Bulls, who are not exactly the best offense, scored 146 on this squad. Yes, there has been some injuries, and LeBron was out, and he's back now, and he had been back for a couple games, but I do still think Indiana's playing some good basketball. To get them at an underdog price here, I kind of like. If this were to be flipped, like I said, there are angles to get to the Lakers, so let me actually go through some of those. For example, in isolation, Luka, LeBron, you ever heard of them? They should be able to torch this Indiana team in isolation. Indiana loves the pick and roll. Lakers, number 1 in terms of effective field goal percentage and score percentage defensively against the pick and roll. So there are angles to get to the Lakers. Don't let me talk you off of it today. I'm just on the Pacers side of things. But if this were to be flipped, like I was saying, and we're getting plus money for the Lakers, and potentially the Lakers were at home, that's probably where I'd end up leaning to. So it is a very thin, margin of where I'm going in terms of lean, but right now it is Pacers for me. In terms of what we have from a total, I don't necessarily think that this Lakers team, like I've been saying all along, I don't think that they score that many points on the road. This Indiana defense, I would say, is meh, but they've been playing really well. We know they're a good perimeter defense. That's where the Lakers have been shooting from. I almost want to lean towards a Lakers team total under, which right now you can get a decent number right now, like under 120.5 for a Lakers team total under. I don't mind it. The one concern here is that, the Pacers are going to play at a pretty fast pace, right? Top 10 over the last 10 games. The Lakers' defense isn't all that great, so if the Pacers score really quick, the Lakers are going to have more possessions, so that makes it tough. But I would look at a Lakers team total under, as crazy as that may sound, and yeah, I do agree that kind of sounds a little crazy here, right? A player prop that I'm looking at, and I do think it's a decent spot here. I worry that he's just been crushing and he's kind of back to his old form, and now we're late to the train, though. But I don't mind Tyrese Haliburton over 9.5 assists. He's hit it in 10 straight games, looking obviously very, very good. The fact that he has hit it in 10 straight, and I think it's even like 11 or so, actually. But in his home game series, hit it in 8 home games in a row as well, averaging 11.5 assists. He's averaging like 17 to 20 potential assists per game as well, which I like. So he converts half those, we're off to the races, right? Lakers against assists into the point guard position, 20th, so it's kind of a good number. But what I will say is this season, this kind of shocked me, they're number 1 in terms of defending the point guard, and in the last 7 games, number 4. So Haliburton probably doesn't have the best scoring night, right? And we already talked about how the Lakers actually are really good at defending the pick and roll. I think Haliburton dimes it up today, so I'm going to take a peek at him over 9.5 assists. I also don't mind his rebounds plus assists overall. I think that's at 12.5 right now, if I'm not mistaken, or 13.5. So Haliburton, I think, could have a decent spot tonight. And it also, goes towards those catch and shoot shots that the Pacers like to take and the Lakers like to allow, that he might get a couple easier assists than normal. So yeah, Haliburton assists and rebounds plus assists, definitely a spot that I'm considering tonight. A spot that you should definitely be considering tonight is over on Sleeper Picks, guys. Giannis, 0.5 points. I think the Greek Freak will go out there and get 1 point against this Denver team. He is listed as questionable, so if he doesn't play, I'm sure they'll backfill with another free pick, but that's not even the best deal that Sleeper's offering. I've been telling you guys this for weeks. The play $5, get $55 as a new customer deal is one of my favorite, if not my favorite, in the market right now. You literally 11x that $5 that you place as an entry, and what better time to do it than today when you can get this Giannis Square, but it's also Wednesday. They drop a ton of discounts on Wednesdays. They call it Wildcard Wednesday, and with MLB coming up, I don't think there's a better DFS player prop app out there than Sleeper. They crush the MLB, guys, so go ahead and check it out. They have more lines than anyone, more play options. They have alternate lines. They also have the dynamic payouts, which I love. I've been raving about that for years now. The fact that, they don't follow a fixed payout structure. 2 for 2 is 3x, 3 for 3 is this, that. No. Each and every play you throw into your entry changes the payout. Really, really cool. That link will be down below in the description as well as the pinned comment. You can also get all those same goodies just by using code GUYBOSTON when signing up. So go ahead and check out Sleeper Picks. That link will be down below. If it's available in your state, and it's available in most states, and you're not on it, you'll regret that. You are missing out. Go check it out. That link will be down below. Let's jump back into the rest of these games here. Next up, we have the Knicks taking on the Clips here. We're going to want to pay attention to the injury report. Jalen Brunson's still out, but Deuce McBride may be back in the lineup here for the Knicks. And then on the other side, James Harden listed as questionable. The Knicks aren't a back-to-back, so we got to definitely keep an eye on that injury report as it progresses throughout the day. That back-to-back, me mentioning that, is a massive thing. This is a Knicks team that has just been absolutely struggle bussing on back-to-backs this season. 18.2% cover rate. Now they're dogs here. I do know that obviously they're going to have, be favorites in most of their games on back-to-backs, and I don't even have that data built in. But to me, this is just too tough of a matchup in a spot that you don't thrive in, like in terms of the back-to-back. The Clippers have won. They won the previous matchup, and they beat them by 10 points. They were, 6.5, 5.5 point favorites, something like that, and they ended up covering, and that was in LA. So I think that is a factor to factor in here, but to me, I just can't like the Knicks on a back-to-back. So I'm going to look at the Clippers in this one. The total sitting at 217. I don't mind an over. I mean, other than last game in which the Clippers played OKC, they scored 101. The Clippers offense had been firing. Like prior to that, the previous 4 games, previous 6 games we have here, 128, 132, 123, 121, 119, 120. And do we think that this Knicks offense is all that great? No. They hit their over last night, and on back-to-backs here this season, the Knicks have hit the over in 73% of their games. So I do think an over could be in play here. What I would say I worry about is the fact that, we just saw this matchup, recently, right? And it wasn't exactly a super high-scoring game, right? Within that, right outside of that Clippers bubble, I was talking about the 6 games. They played about, 8 games ago for each team, and it was a 105-95 game. So That concerns me a little bit here, but still, I think the over is going to be my move in the Clippers. I like James Harden. Now, he is questionable, but James Harden, 27 points last time he played them. He's hit the over 20.5 points in 9 of his last 10. He does have a 50 burger in there, so that kind of skews it a little bit, averaging 28 over his last 10. In fact, if we take that out, let's see if we can exclude that 50 burger and see what he's averaging. 25.6. So yeah, it kind of brings it down a little bit, but still well over it. I like the spot for him. He's going to play in the pick and roll a ton as well, and that's where the Knicks struggle defensively. A lot of James Harden's points come in the isolation. We should know that by now. The Knicks are very good at isolating, so I think that is worth kind of throwing in, that if he were to have a bad game, it's probably due to them isolating a ton, but I think that he's going to be able to get his today through the pick and roll. So I also don't mind. I guess I could lean towards his points plus assists as well. That's at 28.5, I believe you can get it at. Maybe 29.5 by the time we're recording now, but overall, I think James Harden has a decent game. I think he's going to need to have a decent game. Do I worry, like I said, to some degree about the isolation? Yeah, he's been a little bit up and down in terms of his away numbers this season, but he still hit the over actually on the road in 62% of games. He's averaging a little bit more at home, so I still think he could have a good game. So James Harden would probably be a look here in this one. One thing to also note is that this Knicks team, obviously a very good team in the paint. If we jump into our dashboard, which I can explain, if I could explain how to get access to this dashboard in just a second, you'll see here that the Knicks, kind of the closer you get to the hoop, the more they shoot, right? They're not taking a bunch of threes as of right now. The Clippers, a really good team, top 5 this season in terms of defending points in the paint, top 10 over the last 3 games. To centers and power forwards, they're pretty decent, at least top half there as well. 68.3% and 40% in the paint. Those are the last 10, so a little bit more recent, but overall, you do see the Clippers playing some strong defense there. The one thing that I will say, the Knicks defense, kind of surprisingly, very good on the perimeter this season, right? The Clippers, though their numbers are okay, they don't shoot a ton of above the breaker corner threes. So yeah, I'm not really worried about the Clippers being this defensive presence the Knicks being, I had to battle through like a burp there, geez. The Knicks being a defensive presence on the perimeter when the Clippers don't prioritize that. Right over here, and I move my camera so you can see it a little bit more, this is what I'd be more concerned with if I was the Knicks, right? You have a good in the paint team, a team that shoots the ball in the paint, the 5th highest frequency, against a Knicks team that's kind of struggling a little bit in the paint. So yeah, I do think this could be a good spot for the Clips overall. Now, in terms of getting access to this dashboard, right over here, over on GuyBostonSports.com, top right corner. It's a little bit different on mobile, but you can still get there. Head over to the NBA dashboard under the members section. If you are logged in and do have an account, you will see the dashboard popped up right here. You can open it up, you can print it out, you can make notes, but essentially it's what you just saw. Each and every game broken out in a visual format to save you tons of time researching. These are all the key stats that I referenced in the video, and like I said, I put it in a visual format. It didn't start for you guys. It started for me to help me kind of, optimize and make my research process in the morning and nights before videos more efficient. And I figured, screw it. Let's bring it to the people. And we do have a small price tag associated with it. If you're not signed in, you will see this. We'll set this to a logged out version. You'll see it says membership required. You view the membership levels. There's 3 available right now. And this is the last day that you can get the all sports dashboard at $4.99 a month, because the MLB dashboard launches tomorrow morning, and that is $4.99. This is going to jump a couple bucks to, I believe we have it set to $6.99. So yeah, you want to save a couple bucks and get both dashboards. The All Sports dashboard is your go-to today. If you just want the NBA dashboard, $2.99 a month. If you just want the MLB dashboard, $4.99 a month. But I'm saying today you can jump on board at $4.99, the same price as this, and get both dashboards. And you guys are locked in at the price that you sign up at. So go ahead and consider signing up over on GuyBostonSports.com, guys. The MLB dashboard, I'll show you a little sneak peek of that. We'll have to show you some access. This might take a second, so feel free to skip a minute ahead. But the MLB dashboard looks really, really cool. Here it is, and let's just go to a random game for tomorrow. We'll go to this one. How about this? Boom. Random game for tomorrow. Look at this. We have the lineups, the projected lineups. The batting order should update automatically as well with their hitting against that hand. We have the pitch mix for the pitcher. A lot of cool stuff on the MLB dashboard. So, guys, these are constantly improving and whatnot too. Go check it out, GuyBostonSports.com. Another game in which I'm like, right? Like, this is similar to that Washington and Philadelphia game. We got Brooklyn taking on Toronto. Brooklyn coming off of a loss a couple days ago against Dallas. Toronto coming off of a win against Washington. Now, Toronto has had their injury woes, right? And it looks like most guys are good to go. I mean, I guess we can't even say that, right? Quickly, Pirtle out, Boucher and Grady Dick still out, but their starting lineup, they do have Barnes and Barrett. And if they were playing another team, maybe I would be concerned with Pirtle being out, but I don't think this would be an ideal matchup for Pirtle in the first place. Like Brooklyn, surprisingly, look at the dashboard here, has been shooting a lot of threes. They're not necessarily taking it down low overall, and their paint defense is kind of mediocre, not terrible. So yeah, it's not like I'm sitting here, like when we took Pirtle a couple days ago against Washington, we took his over points and rebounds, and he pretty much hit it in both categories. That was just an ideal situation. I don't think Brooklyn is like this ideal situation for Pirtle. I do think that, Brooklyn's paint defense isn't tremendous, so maybe Pirtle will be a factor here. But if RJ Barrett plays, I think that kind of, I guess fulfills what we're needing in terms of the point total and whatnot. So yeah, I do think that this is a nice Toronto spot. Now they're on the road. They do kind of stink on the road, but we just saw them beat a bad team. I'm going to sit here and say that Brooklyn's not the best team either. They're 12th in the East. This is a Toronto team that's 11th in the East. Standing wise, is Toronto at all? Let me see if I can pull that up. I don't have the bottom half of the standings kind of like memorized right now. Let's see if Toronto has any chance of moving up into that. So they are, I guess it's going to be tough. They're 6 games back of the 10 spot. So both these two teams' seasons are probably over. So I think we will get some competitive basketball just because, like I even said with Washington and Philadelphia, a lot of the times when, we're playing guys like Jamal Shed's playing, Robinson, Agbaji, like these guys are going to really play balls to the wall. You have Keon Johnson, Williams, Jalen Wilson playing. Cam Johnson out, I believe, for, let's fact check that. I'm sorry, we didn't look too deeply into this game this morning. So Cam Johnson listed as out as well. So that's a huge knock to Brooklyn. This is a Toronto spot for me, and as much as I feel unprepared in this game talking to you guys about it, RJ Barrett's back, Scotty Barnes is back, or playing. I do think that this could be a Toronto spot for us. I do get a little worried that they don't have, obviously, Pirtle, and they're on the road, but overall, I don't mind the spot. I think it's kind of a decent look at maybe a Nets team total under as well. This Nets team on the at home this season has hit the under in 53% of their games here. Toronto on the road is at the under in 43% of their games, so maybe a Nets team total under, maybe just an under overall. I know I'm kind of like wrapped up. I've said it 3 times now. The idea of when guys are injured or the season's over, guys are really playing harder in some of these bad teams, which is a weird concept, but, I think the proof's in the pudding. Kind of scares me a little bit, but under right now you can get Nets team total under 110.5. Yeah, go play some defense, Toronto. I don't necessarily mind that, but give me Toronto Nets team total over under. And in terms of what we have from a player prop, I think RJ Barrett is in consideration for me today, just due to the fact that he's back. He should be fairly fresh. His points line, I mean, this should be a close game, right? Should be a game that's played in the paint. His points line sitting at 18.5. Kind of like him to go over that, right? I mean, he hasn't had the best of performances against Brooklyn, and they do kind of match up fairly well against him, but he is going to shoot a ton in the paint, and Brooklyn's a bottom 10 team this season at preventing that, so maybe we get there, but again, it's kind of a volatile game. There's a lot that I kind of like in this game, but at some point we got to be smart and be like, it's Brooklyn, Toronto. Like, there's way better games on the board today, right? Like, this is the second worst. Speaking of better games on the board today, I do think this could be considered a better game, but unfortunately, we are sitting here with kind of our you-know-what in our hands because we would have a Giannis and, Dame versus Jokic and the Nuggets matchup. No Dame, no Jokic, or most likely no Jokic. He's listed as doubtful. We also have Aaron Gordon as questionable. Brown's questionable. Giannis, did I mention, is questionable. So this is kind of an interesting one. If Jokic does not play, I like Giannis and the Bucks in this spot. Now, Giannis has to play for that. He is questionable, but to get them at a plus number, I like this. Now, I do admit that this should be kind of a strugglesome matchup without Dame because Denver, you can attack from multiple angles, but really being able to hit the 3 ball against them would be amazing for the Bucks because Denver, 3rd worst in terms of score percentage defensively against pull-up threes. That screams Damian Lillard, right? The catch and shoot they're a little better at, which would be the other guys on the squad. Now, they are also allowing nearly a 70% field goal percentage against in the paint over their last 10 games. And what I mean in the paint, at the rim, about 46% in the paint. Milwaukee also allowing a decent percentage down there, but if Jokic doesn't play, boom, I think that leans towards Milwaukee, right? And you're getting a decent number here. Milwaukee plus 5.5 in some spots. That almost tells me that we may not see Giannis, but if Giannis is good to go, I like Milwaukee in the spot solely because of the in the paint factor. And, Milwaukee did play tough against Phoenix. It wasn't the best matchup. We liked Phoenix in that spot, and you know what? Milwaukee ended up still covering, right? They lost by 2. It was a 2.5, 3-point spread. So yeah, and again, Denver just lost by 10 to the Bulls. No Jokic is a tough position for this Denver team, especially offensively. What if the Bucks decide to, run in transition? They're a really good scoring team in transition. The Nuggets don't exactly have the best transition defense either. So, not saying that that's what the Bucks will do, but that could be a way for them to kind of get out and run and make it tough for Denver to keep up with. So yeah, I like Milwaukee in this spot. When it comes to a total, I don't mind an over. I would say this probably gets like 228 to 230, so a very marginal overlean. But I think both offenses, outweigh the defenses in this case. And all we'd be looking for realistically is for Denver to go out there and give us like 115, right? Which they could get close to that even without, Jokic. If Jokic plays, which again, he's doubtful. If he plays, I like the over even more because Milwaukee's paint defense isn't tremendous. So Jokic should be able to score in there as well. Player prop wise, it's tough because I think this would be a really good Dame spot, but nothing really kind of boiling to the top for me. If we do add anything in, as always, I'll put it with the final plays and give you a little bullet point blurb as to why I like it and what we kind of researched and found throughout the day, so you guys know, in case you like it or don't like it. But yeah, nothing as of right now. All right, Phoenix taking on Boston. You probably look at that and say, why are the Celtics only 3.5-point dogs? 3.5-point favorites. Jason Tatum listed as doubtful here. That's obviously going to be a big factor in this one. I believe we will have Jaylen Brown, Derek White, Drew Holiday, Horford, and Porzingis. So all those guys will be starting, which is obviously good. This Suns team, they've been on the DNB graveyard for us before this season. They're playing some good basketball right now. Like, they've won 4 straight games. 2 of those games are against Milwaukee and Cleveland, noting that they're their most recent games. Now, it was a Damian Lillard-less, Milwaukee team. I know Jason Tatum's crucial for this matchup. But at the same time, not to be wearing green and be Guy Boston Sports, and that's my favorite sports team of all time, and be biased here, but at some point, we do have to say, like, getting the Celtics at 3.5 is crazy, right? Like, we don't get that opportunity very often. We pulled the trigger on that against the Kings last game, and they won, handily. So, or they win by, it was like 18 or 19 or something like that, right? So, I think I'm still going to lean towards the Celtics. This is a Phoenix team that their perimeter defense isn't all that great, and take away Jason Tatum, I don't think that he would be the total best fit here. I know I said he'd be a good fit, but this Suns team's actually really good at defending the pull-up jumper. Jason Tatum takes a lot more pull-up jumpers than he does catch-and-shoot jumpers, and the Celtics have tons of guys, Sam Hauser, Peyton Pritchard, Derek White, that will take these, Al Horford, for Christ's sakes, Kristaps, a lot of catch-and-shoot guys. This Suns team, 23rd in effective field goal percentage against the catch-and-shoot, 25 in terms of score percentage against the catch-and-shoot. I think this could be a decent spot. They struggle with the above the break. They're just not as good defensively as the Celtics, even without Jason Tatum. So call me biased. It may be the case, but I like the Celtics here, minus 3.5. I think they're the better defensive team, for starters, right? And they still should be able to operate from the perimeter offensively, even without JT. It's a big knock, but we're already taking the knock via the line, right? Like, if they were hanging 7.5 over the Suns, then yeah, no kidding, we'd be like, I'm not sure about this one, Charlie. But they're not. So give me the Celtics in this one. That total sitting at 223. I know I mentioned the Celtics having a good defense and whatnot. I don't mind the Celtics scoring a decent amount still today. My one concern with taking it over here, I think I'd probably look at Celtics team total over, but my biggest concern, and it is a big concern, last 10 games, Celtics dead last in pace, Phoenix 5th to last. Sorry. So it's like really, really slow. Combining these two, you have about the 28th pace projected game. That's a little worrisome, but what if Phoenix fills it up from outside, right? What if they get their shooters going? Like, I think there's more ways, and this is kind of a weird way to put it, which isn't very common. There's more ways to get to an over here than there is an under. I'm going to lean towards the over. In terms of player props, I like the idea of Derek White today. Whenever he's playing without some of these guys like Jason Tatum or Jaylen Brown, I really do think that he steps it up. In fact, I would probably take a peek at Derek White's points plus assists. I think it's at 20.5 or 21.5, whatever you can get it at. Games without Jason Tatum this year, he's looked pretty damn good. This season right now, in fact, let me just show you. This is Outlier, guys. I have a link in the description for this as well. You get 7 days free. This is no Jason Tatum, right? In his last 10 without him. Check this out. Last 10 without Jason Tatum, averaging 27.1. This season, he's been crushing it. The only time he didn't hit it, he had 21 points in a tough matchup there. Shot the ball only 12 times. So, yeah, this is probably one that we throw in pretty quickly. 113 over on Caesars. I'm going to roll with that. I'm going to get this in right now, actually. Head-to-head here. Let's get rid of the Jason Tatum. How's he do against head-to-head? Comes kind of right there. Hasn't shot the ball a ton. Decent potential assists. Yeah, I think we're going to get this one in over on Caesars. What's cool about Outlier is you can literally just click that, and it's going to open up Caesars right now. So I'll get this in and check back in with you. All right, there you go. Live final play, 113 over on Caesars, over 21.5 points plus assists for Derek White. So, yeah, that's a player prop that I'd consider. He's the guy that, in my brain, steps up. I also don't mind Drew Holiday's assists without Tatum. Like, think about all the usage that is about to go around, right? But I think Derek White is the perfect kind of mesh of catch-and-shoot guy and the guy that will get some assists there as well. But, guys, it's going to wrap it up for today's show. If you made it this far into the episode, go ahead and comment 30 down below. You pretty much made it to the 30-minute mark. Really do appreciate it. And go ahead and check out the new Fade Me merch. This Let's Ride collection. Like, I don't know if you can see it in the, this is such a cool feeling sweatshirt. Crew neck, we got a hoodie, we have a tee, we have the rope hat as well in the Let's Ride collection. So go ahead and check it out. And yeah, that's all I have for you guys. We'll catch you guys in the next one, right? Peace out.